we don't have one right next door to us, but when the wind is blowing in a certain direction, we get it. And you can't even sleep with your windows open at night.
As cannabis growers continues to rise in the city, some Winnipeg residents are voicing their concerns regarding the smell of cannabis in their neighborhood. Ed Kaloje lives in Garden City and says he began to really notice the smell of cannabis in his area back in May. He says he got a new puppy at the time and was very active, but the smell made it tough for him to go outside.
We found that over the course of the winter, there have been several homes down the street that had sold. And the smell was coming from those homes. And so we started talking to neighbors, and a lot of people just started coming out and saying, we think that's a grow up. And some of the homes were worse than others. Some it's hard to tell, and some of the other ones, like, the smell never goes away.
Kaloje says he started to make calls, and the MP of his area, Raquel Dancho, told him to start a petition. Kaloje went door to door and says the response from people in his area was overwhelming. He says people are not only concerned about the smell, but are concerned about the crime in the area.
This is generally a very quiet neighborhood, lots of older people, a lot of original owners, that sort of thing. And, younger families and such are starting to move in as these homes come up for sale. But the last few bungalows have been, from what we could see, have been purchased by operators of these grow-ops.
Kaloje says there's been a rapid growth of residential cannabis growers near his home. He says this issue was brought up to City Council last year with only 2 known grow-ops. Now there is 6.
The problem's tripled in our neighborhood in the span of 1 year. And, our concern is, what if we wait another year to do something about it? Is it going to triple again?
Several residents, including Kaloje, spoke to councillors of the city's property and planning committee about this issue this past Monday. Carmen Nadohin, a Winnipeg resident in the Sage Creek area, along with help from people in the area, was able to get one grow-op shut down in her neighborhood. She says it was a great feeling to have the grow-op in her neighborhood shut down, but the main issue comes from those who issue the licenses, specifically Health Canada.
When any individual can set up in a residential area and grow hundreds of plants, and that will affect the entire neighborhood for a whole bunch of different reasons, that's just ridiculous. And, person A gets one license here and another license there, and before you know it, they've got half a dozen licenses and they're growing thousands of plants. That is just not right.
Nadohin says this is also a health and safety issue. She says the grow-op that was shut down in her area backed onto the local school, in which students and young kids were breathing the smell of cannabis all the time.
So I just think from a public safety perspective, we have got to get these shut down.
We just want the city to bring in a bylaw that's fair, that's reasonable, that's fair to everyone. And if we can accomplish that, that's all we're asking for.
Kaloje and Nadohin will be speaking to all of City Council regarding this issue on Thursday. In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.